Hey there, YouTubers. Gonna do a couple things to go along with my Italian Christmas dinner. Gonna start with stuffed shells. Surprisingly, I had a very hard time finding actual jumbo shells in Ohio. Haven't made these in a couple years. Actually went to like 4 grocery stores and found it at Walmart. I'm gonna start out with the filling for it. I'm making 2 different kinds. This is ricotta cheese. And again, you're just gonna have to watch me because I don't know how to measure things. So that is a small tub. I'm gonna end up making a lot of these. This was 15 ounce. All right, next I got another bowl. We're gonna put a couple eggs in. 1 egg. 2 eggs. All right, now some ground pepper. Okay, now we're gonna put some salt in. Like I said before, you need it, but I don't really like it. That's probably about half a teaspoon. I'm gonna mix this up. Just a little bit, just to break the egg. All right. All right, now we're gonna do Parmesan cheese. Parmigiano. Probably about, let's say, 2 handfuls of it. Maybe a little bit more. I like parm. Mozzarella. Mozz. There's about, every Italian thing has a bunch of different names. That was probably like maybe 4 ounces in there. 4.5. And some parsley. I think a little bit more parsley. This is a pretty standard, you know, this isn't groundbreaking. This isn't anything all that different. And now I just got to do a whole bunch of mixing. We'll come back. You don't want to watch all this mixing, do you? I didn't think so. Make it look like this whole thing takes 2 minutes to cook when it doesn't. Now we're going to boil the water to cook the shells. Salt. And I'm old school, so I don't want to get in any arguments with anybody because I don't really care. I grew up, you put oil in the water. There's a lot of people that say it's a waste and there's no need to do it. That's how I do it. You do it how you want to do it if you disagree. All right, so this is mixed up really well. And I made a lot, but it's okay because you can store this and use it. You can either cook a lot more than you're going to eat. They're real easy to rewarm up. Or you can store this and make more shells or manicotti later. Manicotti, whatever you want to call it. Mozzarella, mozz. However your area pronounces these Italian things. Actually, I had a family relative who's actually from Italy, Italian. And they looked at us all weird on how we pronounce things here, but it's kind of the way it happens. So that's ready. Now we're just waiting to get the shells done and start stuffing them. All right, now we'll put the shells in. Try to go gently. And these will take about 10-12 minutes. All right, they're almost done. You stir them a bit. And then what we'll do is I'll drain them out and then hit them with cold water as I'm draining them because you want to stop them from cooking. So you won't get to see that, but that's what you do. Okay, I drained the shells. This is what I'm gonna cook them in because I'm cooking it in a new wave oven. So you put a little sauce down. So you can stuff these a couple different ways. You can take a Ziploc bag and cut a corner out and use it almost like a pastry thing. I looked around and realized I don't have any. So you just use a small spoon and you fill up your shells. And you just start putting them in there. There we go. Hold on, let me move stuff around so you can actually see this. Oh, by the way, I tasted this and it tastes very good. Again, it's not complicated. Now it is easier with the Ziploc bag. I'm okay at this. I'm not a professional. I just like to cook. I am no chef. Okay, I'm gonna move this. There we go. And maybe give you a closer look at stuffing them. I mean, it's really simple. Just go in there, get in there, and fill up the shell. See? Piece of cake. Now I'm gonna put a little sauce on the top. Now I'm gonna take a little of the Parmesan cheese, put it over the top. This is a cheese meal. And now I'll put the mozzarella over the top too. And I am gonna end up making a second batch of this kind. Look at all that cheese. Probably more cheese than some people might like, but I'm going with it. Move this stuff because we're gonna make more, like I said. Okay, now we're gonna put this in a New Wave oven. I would have liked to use bigger casserole things, but I decided not to cook this in my oven. So, this is the New Wave oven. It automatically sets at 350 and that's as high as it goes. So cook time, we're gonna do 20 minutes. We're gonna start it. There it goes. Don't blow that cheese too much. It's about halfway in, it's looking good, Coming along nicely, about 4 minutes left to go and I'm gonna get to taste one. All right, I think that's done. All right, let's get one of these out of there. Woohoo! Nice. Look at there. All right, gonna let that cool. I'll come back and try it. Well, that was cool, and I stuffed some other shells and used up the rest of the mix. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook those. Going with a little less cheese. I'm gonna do 17 minutes. 18 minutes. All right, I gotta taste it. That's a good looking shell. Very good. Turned out very nice. I'm gonna make another batch of a different kind of stuffed shells. We'll be right back with that. All right, YouTubers, making the second kind of stuffed shells. This is garlic. I'm gonna chop it. You don't want it big. I got 3 cloves. And a bowl out of the way. Okay, we're moving on. Half an onion. All right, we're gonna dice this onion. Okay, that's it. That's going in the same bowl with the garlic. All right, next we got some mushrooms. I got the sliced kind, so the work's halfway done. Make these smaller. The mushrooms are done. All right, now I got green pepper. I'm gonna clean them out. Okay. The other one. I'm gonna dice those. Now the other bit of it. Now we got a red onion. Just cut it in half and we'll pull the center parts out. You just clean them out with a paring knife. All right, we're doing the same thing. Using a little bit more red than green because it's prettier. Do the other same thing with the other half of it. Getting too crowded for space. Chop them down. And chop the last of it. So in the last video, I did some talking about Christmassy meals with my family. Now I have a couple lengths of sausage, and I'm just gonna squeeze them out of the casings into the pan. Now what am I doing? I've lost my mind. Hold on. Let's turn it on. Let's put some olive oil in there. That much. All right, now, like I said, I'm gonna squeeze the sausage out of the casing. I have 2 of them. Break it down a little bit. You don't have to use hot sausage. You can use regular sausage, sweet sausage, whatever you like. And then we'll break this down. You get the picture. Right, now I'm gonna do my trick. Take a paper towel, Try to soak up some of the grease. You're never gonna get too much out, and you don't want all the grease out. Hell, some people don't even want to do this, but it soaks up some of the grease. Get that out of there. Arteries will thank you. Okay, now I'm gonna throw the mushrooms in. Stir them around. I'll get back to storytelling like I did in the video where I kind of, sort of, not really told you how to make sauce. Things in my family started getting a little bit out of control, and it was my fault. I always loved the Sunday dinners when everybody gets together. Well, our family was too busy, so Christmas, I turned Christmas into that. So I would go up to my grandmother's, turn that up a little, and she had a stove out in her garage, and we'd go up, I'd go the day before, and her and I would make sauce, meatballs, sausage, brajol most of the time, which brajol is fantastic, but it's a lot of work, and again, you're not getting to see it here. And she had that stove out in her garage, and it got to where when all the rest of the family got there, I just stayed out in the garage almost the whole day cooking stuff. I would make my stuffed peppers, which were a variation of a recipe of my mother's, and I will never share them on YouTube because they're just a secret, and everybody loves those. When I was married, instead of buying my wife flowers if I did something really nice or did something really stupid, I'd make her stuffed peppers, and that helped my life. Alright, now in goes the onions and garlic. So we'll keep mixing this up. So I would be out there cooking all day. I'd make 10 or 12 different things. Almost any Italian thing you could think of, anything I could think of. I would do so much that I actually got on my grandmother's nerves. She was all upset one day, "You're stealing my Christmas." But it was a lot of fun. And to me, once you get a little bit older, you move past about how important presents and crap are, and just spending time with people. Because I didn't sit out in the garage by myself. Everybody would take turns coming out, hanging out with me, and drink and all that good stuff. I had one relative that I would just keep a pan of mushrooms with garlic and a little bit of concoctions going all day, and he would just stand there eating out of the pan, loving the mushrooms. All right, so that's coming along. Sunday dinners are just an awesome thing and Christmas, like I said, that's what my Christmases became with my relatives. It was just like, if somebody asked us, "What'd you do for Christmas?" "Yeah, we ate." Now we're gonna put the peppers in. All right. Now, just low. It's a good thing about the induction cooktop. You can set the temperature to what you want. Try 140. I'm just going to let it go slow for a little while. All right, we're coming along. It's pretty darn close. So yeah, cooking is a lot of fun, and I was just thinking, I was having GoPro problems. I don't think I've made this in 8-9 years, maybe 10. It's been a long time. But this is a really good stuffed shell. I think you can see where it's going. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. All right, we're gonna bring a big bowl in. I'm gonna dump all that in the bowl. Copper Chef pans, great for an RV. Mine have held up really well. People often don't believe me, but mine have stayed pretty good. The bottom of this one is starting to get not as quite as non-stick, but great for the RV because they're light. But if you're looking for a set of pans, unless you want induction, if you're looking for an induction and non-stick, these are good. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend them. You have to be really, really careful with them. I'm gonna add some mozzarella, probably the rest of that bag, about that much. Mix that in. Now also, in the past when I would do all this cooking at Christmas, I would obviously, like I tried to say in the earlier video, I would go a little bit fancier than I'm going now. I would spend the money on fancy cheese. This Parmesan, it's pretty good cheese, but it's not fancy. You can find some Italian cheeses, specialty cheeses that are really expensive. And I've done that in the past, but we're not doing that here. So If you look to make something like this and you want to go with fancy cheeses, do some research. There's some great Italian cheeses out there that you could use. I sort of feel like it needs a little bit more. You could add parsley or oregano or some other seasonings like that, but like I said, I don't know how good my memory is, but when I've made it in the past, I think it's good this way. This is kind of thing, look in your refrigerator, look at what vegetables, kind of things you like to go with the sausage, and you can do whatever you want. Alright, got a square bacon dish that'll also fit in my New Wave oven. Put some sauce, gotta spread it. Got the shells cooked and cooled enough to touch, and then you just stuff these. Like that, look at that. Piece of cake. Hold them open, stuff them. That's nice. Another important thing, I just put sauce in there and it made me remember. When you're making sauce, wear an apron, wear something red, or wear a shirt you don't like, because it seems like no matter how good you are at cooking and or eating, you will get sauce on yourself. Look at that. That's just, isn't that pretty looking? And guess what? As good as it looks, it eats better. Here we go. Now we're going to put sauce on each one. My grandmother's awesome sauce that we made in the previous video, but I'm pretty sure I didn't tell you much about how to make it. There's tons of great sauce recipes out there. All day Sunday sauce. That the more you cook it, the thicker it keeps getting. It just cooks down. And as I said in that other video, you cannot overcook sauce. You can burn it, but you can't overcook it. Now we're going to put a little bit of parm on them, a little bit of mozzarella. Depending on where your Italian family is from in the United States of America, there's a lot of things that you pronounce differently. There's a lot of regional things, like upstate New York. I have relatives up there as well. There's a dish called Riggies in Utica. Chicken Riggies. They make it with a lot of other than chicken. Fantastic. Utica greens, which I've shown here. A quick flyover before cooking. I think those look pretty good. All right, we're gonna cook them. And we're gonna start off with cook time, 18 minutes at 350, and away it goes. All right, those look good. I stepped away. If they would have gone much longer, I would have been unhappy and thought I cooked them too long. But those look pretty good. Got these out, I'm telling you. These were about 15 minutes. If I'd have gone much longer, I would have ruined them. But they're gonna be fine. We're gonna do a taste test. Hold on. All right, cut into that. Oh yeah. Looky, looky, looky. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Now I know why people like these when I used to make them all the time. That's really good. I recommend this one. I also forgot to mention, I'll eat another one while I'm talking to you because they're so good. I talked about my grandmother a lot, but on my father's side, my great-grandfather, he was an actual chef. I think he worked in the Empire State Building. I was told that he had cooked for presidents. Not like on the daily or nothing, but... And I remember him when I was very little. And I remember him making homemade pasta everything. Raviolis, tortellini. I remember being in his kitchen. Big pounds of flour and then spaghetti drying, hanging all over the kitchen. He was an actual chef and he has skills. This is darn good. Hope you have a great and wonderful day. Try these. You'll probably like them. All right, got some leftovers. That's a bagel. So sauce. Now, I got some of the leftover mix of the sausage and pepper. Mozzarella. We'll give it a couple, 3 minutes. I'll watch it closely. All right, I flipped that rack to get it up a little higher. And we'll start it again. All right, it's about 5 minutes. It's about done. I'm gonna let it cool and then I'll taste it. All right, let's give this bagel leftover thing a taste. Yep. That works really good. That's great. All right, now have a great, wonderful day for real this time.